don't you just love that card? So we're gonna go ahead and make that card today. So we're just using 2 inks today, the Versamark ink pad and then your crumb cake. You're going to need your embossing powders. I'm using silver and the new black emboss. So for the cardstock you're going to need today, you're going to need a piece of smoky slate. This is cut 5.5 by 8.5, fold at 4 1/4. You will need your basic gray. This one here is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. You're going to need a piece of crumb cake and a piece of Blackberry Bliss. These are scrap pieces that I'm going to be using. After I do my stamping, I'm going to cut them down to size. And then you also will need a piece of Blackberry Bliss. This is measured at 1 by 2. And we're going to use 3 different stamp sets today. 2 of them are brand new. They're coming out in the holiday catalog, which will be available for purchase as of September 5th. This is the Buffalo Check. It's a background stamp. So I just fell in love with this one. This is awesome. I can see Christmas cards and different things in the future for this one. And then Pleasant Pheasants. And we're going to use the pheasant stamp on here. And I am using a happy birthday, so this is out of the annual catalog, and I'm just going to use the happy birthday stamp from the Treehouse Adventure. Any happy birthday stamp will work, and obviously, you know, you can turn this into any type of card. This one here is more masculine. I always seem to never have enough masculine cards. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our stamping. The first thing we're going to do is stamp out our backgrounds and our sentiment, the happy birthday. So both of these are going to be embossed. So you just want to take your emboss buddy and just cover the whole basic gray, because you're going to be stamping on the whole thing, and also on the Blackberry Bliss. So you're going to take your Versamark, and we're going to do the Buffalo Check on this one. Now what I found was easier on these larger stamps is to set it down. If you have a Stamparatus, you can use that. I love this new Tim Holtz glass media mat I have. I seem to do everything on this, and this holds these stamps really nice. So I'm just going to stick mine here, and I'm going to take my Versamark and I'm just going to ink it all over. So once I have this all inked up with my Versamark, I'm going to take my basic gray and I'm going to take the part that I used the emboss buddy on, and I'm just going to lay it right on top. And I'm going to try to get it centered. And then what I found was easiest was take a piece of scrap paper, lay it over the top, and then just press down and rub on that background. And this works with any of your large stamps, and this is a good way so that you do not get ink all over your finger. So then you'll have a nice background. Then I'm just going to take the happy birthday stamp, and I'm just going to stamp it on the Blackberry Bliss with my Versamark. So now we're going to go ahead and take our piece of checkered background, and we're going to put a piece of scrap paper underneath. And then I'm going to take my silver emboss powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle that all over the top. Then I'm going to take a pair of tweezers and kind of pick it up at one end and shake off the powder. And then I'm going to try to not grab it on the edges at all. And if you see that you've missed some emboss powder, then you can just go ahead and, I see at the bottom here I've missed some. And then I just give it a couple of little taps. And then we're just going to set that aside here. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the black emboss powder on this. Now, my team member gave me this great idea with the coffee filters, and because I've been using paper, sheets of paper and stuff, and I really like the coffee filters because it kind of contains them. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle on my black emboss powder, and then you've got your embossed powder and the coffee filters, and it's much easier to handle than your pieces of paper. So now we're just going to go ahead and heat emboss these. I will tell you this method with this buffalo check, it does use quite a bit of your stamping embossed powder. So, you know, if you're going to make a lot of these, you want to make sure you have enough of this on hand. We're just going to heat emboss this. With the glass media mat, I don't need to worry about heat embossing. So I just love this mat. So we're just going to go ahead and I'm just going to hold down this with my tweezers so that it doesn't blow away. So once you have that all heat embossed, isn't that just so pretty? Look at how shiny and pretty that is. So we're going to go ahead and do the last bit of our stamping. So now you're going to take your piece of crumb cake and you're going to take the pheasant stamp and we're going to stamp that down right on our crumb cake cardstock, and we're using the crumb cake ink to stamp that down. Once your pheasants are stamped out, I'm just going to bring in my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim close to the edge on all these sides here. I just want to make it smaller. And then with the bottom, I'm going to get rid of most of those rocks just so I can make my image a little smaller. So, so you can see more of this as your background. And then you're going to take your Blackberry Bliss, and I just kind of eyeballed it just to give it enough of, just a little bit of a border on there, nothing too crazy. So your Blackberry Bliss just kind of frames it out nicely. So now you're just going to glue this on top of your Blackberry Bliss. And I'm just going to use, I have Fast Fuse. I bought a whole bunch of it when I knew it was retiring. So that's what I'm going to use, but you could use your snail adhesive. And you're going to take your checkered background, your buffalo check, and we're going to layer it on top of your smoky slate. I'm just going to use my bone folder to give that a good crease. And again, I'm just using my Fast Fuse, so you can use whatever kind of adhesive you have on hand. I don't know if the camera is catching that, how pretty this really is. But so once you have that layered on, this is going to layer right up at the top. So again, I'm going to use my Fast Fuse because of the embossing. I want something a little stronger on there. And then at the bottom, I'm just going to take this and just stick that right on the bottom. Kind of centered it. And that's it to that card. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below on the video, and make sure you ring the bell so you will get your notifications when my videos are published. And I also have a newsletter that I would love for you to sign up for.